where was the thought process? Was they come to you? I understand to kind of want to build a car, but is there like you kind of give them ideas on what you want to do, or how did it all get started?
Yeah, so our business specifically builds 1966 to 1977 Ford Broncos, and we've kind of established a platform and a process on how we do these. And more or less, you get to choose all the cosmetics of the truck. So we've spent the last 13 years figuring out, what works with these things as far as engines, transmission, suspension, and, kind of given the making the drivability of a vintage car what people think the fantasy is going to be. So, not a lot of people have experience with old cars. They see them, they think they're cool, but they're getting out of a Range Rover and they think that, because we build these things new or someone sees an old car that it's going to drive like a new car. And, we've put the process together to build these, to make them drive as modern as possible. And when Schwab reached out to us, they said, look, we love what you guys are doing. What's the chances you'd be interested in collaborating on one of these trucks and building, the prize for the Schwab tournament? And obviously that was something that I'm a golfer myself, so that was a great opportunity to be part of this.
Bryan, that you have a lot of special details in it. You have stitched in on the seats the Colonial tartan plaid seats, and this is the 50th anniversary of Charles Schwab's founding back in 1973. What did you put in that has anything related with Charles Schwab in the car?
Well, kind of like you touched on, we used the tartan for the jacket. We incorporated that into the seats. We found a nice whiskey leather that, goes really well with that tartan. We're kind of known for our leather interiors and our whiskey color. So we just got lucky that, those worked together really well. We took the tournament logo and we embossed that on the keychain. We embossed it on the custom floor mats in the truck. Then we took the Schwab letters, and normally on a Bronco, the front grille says Ford and the rear tailgate says Ford. And we changed that. We had the letters, CNC machines, to say Schwab, and we fit that to the grill of the truck. And then same thing, we cut out the center section of the tailgate, and we actually embossed Schwab on that, and then welded it on and put it on the truck and made everything look like it came from the factory that way. So it was kind of a cool way to take something that we do every day and put the fine touches on it.
This Bronco is so glorious. I mean, it really is. And the color, I got to go with it. I'm a San Diego guy at heart. I was born in Southern California, and I know you've got a lot of names for it, but that's San Diego powders right there. That's our powders, our powder blue jersey right there. That's gorgeous.
Broncos look really good in really any shade of light blue, but, we joke with people and we say if it looks good on an Easter egg, it'll look good on a Bronco.
That's so true. Yellow also, that kind of funky yellow, that soft yellow that's kind of muted. But how long did this project take? Because this is painstaking for you guys when you're going to rebuild a vehicle.
Sure. For us, it doesn't take that long. The design is usually the long part of these trucks because we can do unlimited options with them. But once we get going, it takes us about 90 days to build the truck. So we've got a really good process together. We build them all exactly the same with the exception of the cosmetics. So, we spend a month or so in paint and body work. We spend maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks actually assembling the truck, and then we spend a good solid 2 weeks putting miles on it, doing nut and bolt checks and having a couple of different guys get in it, go over it, and make sure, just checking the details to make sure that everything's been assembled properly. But 90 days start to finish is about our process.
As far as specializing in Broncos, have you ever thought about going out and doing other sorts of Ford cars, or is it just the Bronco that you're interested in for some specific reason?
No, we do other things too. Our core business is, just specifically Broncos. But, kind of once you see behind the scenes and you work with us, we open up the doors for second and third projects. And the second and third projects is stuff like we've done quite a few fastback Mustangs. We do quite a few of the 70s model, like F-250 high boys. Those trucks are becoming really popular. People right now are kind of in that generation of trucks and SUVs, and anything Ford works for us. We've done a couple Chevy K5 Blazers. We've done old Land Cruisers, old Land Rovers, Chevelles, Camaros, all that stuff too. But our primary focus is Ford products with Broncos or any kind of pickup truck.
Did that happen naturally, or did you just realize that the Bronco was that sought after and it was more of a niche?
No, it was a little bit of an accident how we got into this. So, I've always loved Jeeps. I graduated high school in '99, so my buddies all had the Jeep Wranglers, and those were always cool. And everyone thinks a Jeep or a truck with the top off is fun. And as I got older, I wanted something like that for beach house or lake house, but I didn't want a Jeep because everybody had a Jeep. And when you look at something vintage, there's not really a wide selection. You've got pretty much the Blazer, the FJ Cruiser, the Bronco, or a Defender. And I wanted to stick with something that was a little more American. And I like Ford products in general. So the Bronco was a good fit. It's also a good fit from a size perspective. Like the Blazer is a really cool truck, but it's massive. It doesn't fit in garages well. It's hard to park in parking lots, and it's just a different vibe of a car. They also only made it for 4 years, at least the model that I like. And with the Bronco to have an 11-year run, I looked at it and, 13 years ago when I got into this, every Bronco that I found out there was just kind of a mud truck. Guys were buying them. They were putting big wheels and tires on them, and they were modifying them to rock crawl or drive in the mud. And I looked at it and I, thought, what can I do to change this thing? And literally my thought process was, how can I make this a country club car? And I bought my first one with the idea of, messing around with a little bit. It was only $3,500, so the investment wasn't too big. And I just simply put a nice paint job on it and changed the interior. And all I was really doing was trying to build a second option to a Jeep, so I had something that everybody else didn't have. And I didn't build it with the idea of flipping it. I literally just built it for myself. And, I thought if somebody wants to buy it, that's cool. I'll just do it again. And that's what happened. On my first truck, I built it, and we would take it to Ohio State football game tailgates. And everywhere we went, it was the Ohio State football game and the Ford Bronco in the parking lot. It was crazy, the reaction that people had to the car, and it was nothing special. So I sold that one and went and bought another one, and, kind of same thing happened with that. And one thing led to another, and I left real estate and got into flipping Broncos. And if you'd asked me years and years and years ago if you could make a living selling Ford Broncos, I think everybody would think you're crazy. And 13 years later, I still don't think that my mom believes that I make a living selling Ford Broncos.
Well, for $3,500 now, six figures for a good Bronco, or it's crazy what the value of Ford Bronco is now. It's insane.
It's unbelievable. Our entry level price on trucks right now is in the low 200s, and we sell them as high as $400,000, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, not only you can make a living doing this, you're going to be able to retire doing this. That's what's so awesome about what you're doing, and that's what's so cool.